It's Morbin time.
Hello everyone! Yes, it's the man, the legend, the meme himself, Morbius. This comic book character was turned into a living vampire by an attempt at healing his blood disease, gaining all sorts of superhuman abilities. So now we're going to take a look at his speculative medicine, I guess. Big thanks to Jackson for commissioning this app. And as for you, please consider liking and subscribing to help this video get 1 more billion views. And now, let's bite into the episode. The curse of vampirism takes many forms across many worlds. In some, it is brought by parasites and diseases. In some, eldritch beings possess the living from beyond. And yet in others, it comes from the attempts of man to avoid his own mortality. Today's file takes us to Dr. Michael Morbius, a man who came to the attention of our researchers after reports came about of a vampire spotted in New York. He was afflicted with a rare genetic disorder known as V-type antithrombin deficiency, which caused spontaneous blood clotting inside the sufferer's own body. As this would cause pain, numbness and swelling, it prevented Dr. Morbius from leading a normal life. And as he aged, the symptoms would only become more and more frequent, increasing the possibilities of him suffering a heart attack or a stroke. According to Dr. Morbius himself, anticoagulant injection therapy was proving to be too short-term to his liking, and he feared it would not be enough to save his life, requiring a new approach to be considered: electroshock-mediated, CRISPR-Cas9-based gene therapy. This would be used to insert a gene that produced anticoagulants into Dr. Morbius's DNA, thus preventing the clots from being formed. The anticoagulant selected for this was draculin, as it is produced by vampire bats, which are relatively phylogenetically close to human beings. However, Dr. Morbius's desperate situation did not allow him to take the proper precautions regarding adequate testing and observation, and so they failed to notice a virus present in the bats used for the procedure had altered the intended sequence used. See, this virus, like many others, had stolen large amounts of bat DNA in order to more adequately invade their host, and this procedure allowed this uncontrolled DNA to be injected into Dr. Morbius's body. While initial tests confirmed the expected anticoagulant effect was successful, as time went on, more and more side effects began manifesting, and before long, it was clear something was very wrong with Dr. Morbius's body. He began rejecting most types of food, and his body became unable to store fat soon after, as it adapted to the metabolism of a bat. Understanding what was happening to him, Dr. Morbius knew what it was that would satiate his hunger, leaving him desperate. To make things worse, the illegal nature of his experiments had now been discovered, and so Dr. Morbius found himself a fugitive of the law, having to obtain the nutrition he needed in any way he could. At first, he stole it from blood banks, but once they were put on alert over the nation, he had only one choice left. His illness was cured, but at what cost? Aiding him in his search for food, the virus kept altering Dr. Morbius's body into that of a predator. An increase in vascularization on his sensing organs not only vastly improved his eyesight and sense of smell, but also gave him a series of rudimentary heat beats, similar to those seen in vampire bats, which helped him gain a degree of heat perception, with his features changing as well to accommodate this development. Quick, selective blood flow to the sense organs also allows Morbius to change his focus on each sense, which can be noticed at a glance, as seen in the present diagram. Unfortunately, this increased sensitivity also caused severe photophobia, including a very painful response when exposed to the sunlight. And, When he had finally caught up to a victim, his body was well adapted to do what followed. Reactivation of enamel production would lead to his teeth growing longer and sharper, and his nails would grow and become fortified as well, becoming similar to claws. Soon after, Dr. Morbius would begin experiencing some localized itching and sagging as his skin grew, forming two thin membranes that extended between his arms and his waist. His body was, in essence, attempting to grow the wings of a bat, although much more subdued. While these were, of course, hardly enough to fly, Dr. Morbius found they helped him glide when wind conditions were favorable. Finally, a severe alteration to his throat and vocal cords limited his ability to speak, but gave him the ability to produce high-pitched calls which he would learn to use as a kind of sonar, or even, when used with subtlety, to put his prey in a vulnerable state, causing headaches, dizziness, and fatigue. Plus, it seems to attract many species of bat, which are reasonably curious at the sound produced. While Dr. Morbius had to take blood from others to survive, he did his best to limit the damage he caused on society. At first, he survived by feeding only on the blood of animals, and then, guided by a sense of purpose, on the blood of those who would hurt the innocent. Thus he saw as corrupt and guilty, deserving of his bite. The unexpected transmission of the viral agent in his body, however, began leading a horde of living vampires in his wake, turning him into a target of his world's hero community. Communication with him since has been sparse, but from what we can gather, it seems his work on a cure for the people he has beaten is well advanced, taking advantage of the fact that the lack of CRISPR involved made the effects much less pervasive. That said, it has still proven ineffective on Morbius himself. Still, all evidence points to the fact that, despite the curse of vampirism flowing through his body, his intentions are good. As good as they can be when they involve drinking people's blood. And that's it for a speculative look into Morbius. Now, despite Morbius' relatively straightforward story, the guy has a huge list of powers, but luckily most of those were a lot of stuff that bats do, like drinking blood, or plasma in the animated series, gliding, and having vampire senses, which was easier to fold into this concept as best as we could. That said, there was also some stuff that is not in line with vampire bats, but with more mythical vampires, like hypnosis, super strength, or in the movie, erupting into a bunch of flying entrails, which we had to adapt a little to make it fall more in line with actual bat biology. And this time I wanted to use something that fell more in line with real gene therapy procedures and a dash of the viral infections we've used in the past. So I feel that helped give the episode something fun of its own. So I hope y'all had fun, and let me know if you'd like to see more episodes like this in the future. Special thanks today to the surprising number of people that wanted to see Morbius. Big one to all of you! And also, thank you to our researchers and research associates who support us through Patreon and YouTube memberships, especially to Jackson Younger for commissioning this one. Remember, you too can join in if you want to support our channel, and you get some nice perks too, like seeing all of our creatures and videos ahead of time and helping mold them into shape. Or you can also like, subscribe, or write a comment telling me any type of creature you would like me to give the Speculative treatment in the show. Any of those really help the channel a lot. Thank you all for watching, and see you next time on the Speculative Wildlife Research Center.